commercial development, and they are worried there's just not enough power, one, and some about the had discussions about possibly delaying the timeline to this.
Absolutely. We've been having many conversations about, this is aspirational. We want this to happen. But we also have to take into consideration that their circumstances have changed since this went into law. First of all, the availability of being able to even acquire these buses. But that's why I have $500 million in my budget to help alleviate the cost for localities. But you're absolutely right. We need to make accommodations. This is not going to be a hard and fast rule because we have to deal in the realities that these.
A lot of them are worried about the funding of it. They say if I have to ask my taxpayers to pay for all these new electric buses, I'm not even sure they would pass that.
Right.
And $500 million sounds like a lot of money, but when you're talking about a full fleet transition.
Right. That's $500 million this year. It's a lot of money. And we're willing to be supportive partners to transition to clean energy transportation. When you think about your child standing there waiting for the buses to come and picking up the other kids, and the bus comes and they have the exhaust, the diesel exhaust. I mean, this is also about protecting your child's health as well as the long-term health of our planet. So these are investments that need to be made. They're always tough at the beginning, but I guarantee you there'll come time when we look back and say we never knew there was anything but electric school buses. But we are there to help with this transition.
And then time for one more now.
Hi, Governor. On the topic of rock salt, I understand your office has been in contact with American Rock Salt to ensure they meet obligations for public buyers, but we have towns that have had to drive to Albany for supplies. More than 700 notices were sent out to offer assistance with the delivery issues. It won't provide an explanation for delays, and I want to ask, will they be investigated? This is a matter of public safety, and they are not meeting obligations.
Also, we have to consider the fact that we have extreme weather. I mean, this is the worst weather we've had in a long time, and sort of sustained cold that requires constant salt on the roads. I spent a lot of time in local government. We as a locality stockpiled, but sometimes we did run low, and you have to look at the circumstances and find out what's available. There's no limitation on any municipality being able to go to another source. We're helping that happen. But I also want to say, in order to help alleviate the stress on municipalities and businesses, we are suspending, as of this moment, the requirement that there be certain hours of service, that you have to be, or limited hours on the road for truck drivers in order for them to have longer hours to continue their deliveries, to make sure that our municipalities in particular have what they need to make people safe. So this is a temporary situation, but also I know that the State Office of General Services is helping people right now as we speak be able to access what they need to keep the roads safe. That's our top priority, safety on our roads. All right.
One more on that, if I can. Private contractors with small businesses that also help keep the public safe from slip and falls are not under the centralized contract but are impacted. The state said it doesn't have any influence or control over the salt availability for private contractors, but they are ensuring municipalities get supply. I guess, how does that not influence who American Rock Salt makes a priority customer? I just think there might be a disconnect to the reasoning private contractors don't have access, and the contractors do think it's the state.
Right. There's whoever spread the false rumor that there was an emergency declaration that it all had to go to public is wrong. That's false. But I'm very clear about that. So be careful what you read on the internet. But also, there are many sources. There's other sources in New York State. There's sources in Canada. There are other places in order for these private contractors to avail themselves. They have no limitations on them on where they can go and whatever price they are able to pay. So it's what the market will bear right now. It is a stressful time for everyone in the state, given that we're facing another winter storm this weekend, and it doesn't seem to be relenting. But also I'm encouraging all localities in particular to stockpile during the off-season. That's critically important. That's what we had to do. That's why you see our state thruway and highway barns and our transportation barns filled with the salts year-round, because we understand that anything can happen with Mother Nature. Again, we've had years where they've had to lay off workers at American Rock Salt because the weather was very calm and mild. And so you have to learn how to adjust easily, but it's very unpredictable. And that's all I'll say on that. But we are sensitive to the concerns of everyone who's been affected by this.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm sorry, we haven't been here in Rochester. Robert Brooks is from our area.
Absolutely.
And obviously we know the criminal investigation is going on with the special prosecutor, but you toured Marcy, you spoke with the superintendent there, and the head of docs. Where is the state's investigation into the larger system? And how long are you expecting that to take? And what actions might you consider taking in light of it?
The murder of Robert Brooks was a horrific act of violence. It's unspeakable that a man who's in prison and had a sentence for what he did, it wasn't meant to be a death sentence. And I immediately, even without seeing the video, when I heard about what had happened, I instantaneously said, I want them fired. I want the perpetrators fired, all 14 individuals. I said, I will go there myself. I changed the leadership at Marcy. I also said we need to do more to make sure that every inch of a facility is covered with cameras that cannot be masked, and body cams as well. So we've allocated $400 million to add more cameras. I have called for a system-wide culture review to say, is this going on anywhere else? What is going on here? How is this happening? And we're bringing in outside experts to do that for us as we speak. So that is all ongoing, but I am as impatient as anyone for charges, serious charges, to be brought against the individuals who perpetrated a murder. There's no other way to describe it, a murder on Robert Brooks, and his family deserves justice. We all need to know there's a resolution of this soon. I believe it'll be forthcoming fairly shortly.
Okay, we gotta go. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thanks, everybody.